Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today is the last Traders Tea Time for this year, for 2019. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session. As always, we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our research page, which we update on a daily basis. So I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves, guys. So visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the tab research above here on the top here. And it'll take you to our page. But right now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the FTSE100. Now, the FTSE has closed already, so this is what I was talking about this morning, basically, where I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on the 21 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. So we managed to drop below this, and we managed to close below this as well. So below the 21 EMA. Now then, of course, all this picture is drawing us still a negative one. But again, for now, given that the kind of overall trend is still more to the upside here, we are going to go slowly on this one. Now, in a way, we are maybe looking for maybe a small correction just up until the 21 EMA, and then a move back to the downside here towards the 7,497 zone. Of course, everything will depend on the US markets, which are opening in a few minutes, and in a way, if those start declining heavily, then the cash indices on the cash index on the FTSE and the other indices will drop lower as well. So in a way, when we resume trading on the 2nd of January, we may get ourselves a nice wide gap here, but again, this is a bit of speculation for now. Of course, let's see how the markets will perform, but again, looking at this technical picture, there is still more downside, and the level that we're targeting is the 7,497 zone. So let's keep an eye on that one on the 2nd of January. Nasdaq100. Now, looking at this picture here, this is where it closed yesterday, and I talked about this one recently, about this index, and basically what I was telling you guys, to keep a close eye on this little short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of December, and now you can see that the index, well, we can see that on the cash index right now, the price is balancing near this 8,684 level. I talked about this one previously. Yesterday, the index was tried to drop below it, but kind of didn't quite stay below this level. So in a way, we're keeping an eye on this one today as well, and of course we're keeping an eye on the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart, because if this drops below all this, then in a way this is opening the path towards a further declines, a further correction lower. Because the reason why I'm saying correction, because we do have another upside support line which we need to keep an eye on, and this one's taken from the lowest point of October. So another short-term one, but probably by the time, well, not probably, but by the time we come back in January, it will be now a nice medium-term upside support line. A bit of a tentative one, but nevertheless an upside line, which we'll keep an eye on. So in a way, if we see a nice good close below the 8,684 level today, then yep, it increases the chances of a possible retest of this upside, this medium term upside support line. So for now, guys, and that's the game plan for the for Nasdaq 100. So let's see how this is going to play out. But again, we're leaning more towards this scenario. For us to get excited about the upside again, well, ideally a push back above the 8,784 level could do the trick here, and in a way, more buyers could start joining in and pushing this one back to the upside. So let's keep an eye on this one, guys. Could be quite interesting today. Gold had a fantastic push to the upside. Now, I talked about this one recently, and basically initially what I was saying that we are going to be targeting the 1516 or the 1518 levels, and gold, you can see that managed to overshoot those straight away. So and the commodity managed to reach the area near the 1525 zone, from which it kind of retraced back down a little bit. So it's still kind of retracing. So in a way, we are still looking for that little maybe correction before another leg of buying, and then yes, we will take it from there. For now, yes, everything's kind of leaning more towards the upside, but given that it is already quite overbought here on the shorter time frame, there is a possibility maybe to see a bit of a correction here and then another push higher. But again, today is the last trading day of 2019, so let's see if this one can still push a little bit further north, and maybe the correction will come in the beginning of January. So let's see how this is going to play out. Overall, don't forget that we are, well, not overall, but from the around the mid-December, we are trading now above this short-term upside support line, which in a way could get tested as well. But in order to consider a possible move lower towards that line, we would probably need to see a nice good slide here back below the 1516 zone, and this way, and of course the 21 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. A drop below that could open the door towards this upside support line. So keep your eyes on this one. Now, AUDUSD. Now this one is on fire and it continues to travel higher. I talked about this one this morning, and basically it continues to push push north, together with gold, of course. So you can see that the pair continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the low of the 29th of November, but it has distanced itself already quite a lot from this line. So in a way, what we're looking here for is a bit of a correction. Ideally, we would like to see a correction back to this upside line, from which and if this upside line holds, now this is where it could become interesting for the buyers, because if we look at the daily chart, you can see that throughout the whole 2019, the pair has been drifting lower, trading below this 200-day EMA, and now we're lately from the end of December, the pair managed to break above this 200-day EMA and is now trading well above it. So in a way, there is a possibility for this one to drift further north. This in a way could lead to a change in the trend, but that's why I'm saying it will be quite interesting to see if we can actually get a bit of a correction lower, and if it can stall around here somewhere. This is where the interesting part for the bulls could come in. So this is where the more buyers could start joining in. But again, we are looking for that correction first, and then we'll aim for the upside again. Jumping into another interesting pair, which is USDCAD. Now this has been selling off strongly, and I've talked about about this pair recently, and basically the USDCAD managed to create a new low for December, and in general the Canadian dollar is one of the strongest ones this year. So this is the picture that we have. Not only the pair managed to drop below the lowest point of October near the 1.3037, the pair also drifted lower, found support near the 1.2986, and now it's kind of trying to retrace a little bit to the upside. The only question here is where the year will end in regards to the psychological 130 level. Now this is where the big question will be, because in a way, if it closes above the 130, now we could see an earlier correction, maybe a push higher, where the rate could travel to the upside, maybe test this downside line, and if it holds, we could see another round of selling. Now, but if the rate stays below the 130, now there's a good chance we could see a further decline, maybe a bit more to the downside, and we could start considering maybe even lower levels. But for now, you can see that the pair is kind of balancing near this 1.30, just slightly above the 1.30 level, not far from the July lowest point. So we'll keep a close eye on that one, guys. It's quite an interesting pair right now. It is quite overstretched to the downside, but don't rush into those in trying to maybe capture that correction move back to the upside. Let's see how this day is going to end and how this day is going to perform in regards to the psychological 130 level. And the last pair for this session is going to be the euro dollar. So I talked about this one this morning, and basically initially I was hoping for maybe a bit of a correction, but you can see that this is the other upside scenario worked out nicely. So we had a straightforward move to the upside here above the 1.1221. I talked about this scenario as well, and it traveled higher. It tested the 1.1231 area as well, but kind of didn't quite reach the 1.1250 area that I was talking about. So in a way, for now, maybe the 1.1250 is left for something for later, maybe for the new year. So in a way, for now, yes, keep your eyes on today's close as well. It is quite interesting. It is quite overstretched to the upside, but don't get me wrong, we may see a bit of a correction back down here. So for now, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for that correction, small one at least, so that so that the bulls could regroup and push this one to the upside in the new year again. So for now, guys, everything's kind of leaning more towards the upside. The only thing is that given that it is quite overstretched already to the upside, let's not forget that we may get a bit of a correction first before another leg of buying. If this suddenly starts dropping back below the 1.1183 or the 1.1175, this is where we will aim for a deeper correction towards this short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 29th of November, and then we'll take it from there. Maybe it wants to travel lower. If it wants to travel lower, then yep, that's wonderful. Good news for the bears. But if this is going to act as a nice area of support from which the pair could rebound and push back to the upside, well, again, something that the bulls will look into. But probably for now, even if we do see a correction for anything that still remains above the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart, still could be seen as a nice positive here in the near term, and we could target that 1.1250 level. So let's keep an eye on that one. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. So I'm really happy that you stayed with me throughout 2019, guys. I hope we'll see each other again in 2020. So we'll resume the videos on the 2nd of January. And for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful New Year celebration, guys. I hope you have a wonderful start of the year. And yep, as always, I'll see you on the 2nd of January at 7 o'clock GMT time at my Traders Espresso. So yep, guys, Happy New Year. Have a wonderful New Year celebration, and see you later on this week. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.